What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp here for the Wrestling Inc. podcast, April 25th edition. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Vince Russo. Vince, how are you today?
I'm all right, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing great. And obviously there was, the biggest news story of the year thus far, a momentous occasion, a tragic occasion last week. You spoke about it at length in a video in which I highly recommend to everybody. It is a fantastic video. Former WWE Intercontinental and Women's Champion Chyna passed away last week. We got a graphic at the beginning of the show, and we'll go ahead and talk about this video package that aired later on in the show. Were you surprised that WWE ran a video package despite the tumultuous relationship? I know that you're very familiar with Chyna.
I was. I'll be honest with you. I thought they were going to do the graphic at the beginning, and then they had the video package, I guess, in the last hour of the show. So, yes, that did surprise me. Sean, listen, it's very difficult for me to be objective when it comes to this, because obviously there were so many ways they could have done this, and obviously I would have done it so many ways differently because of my love for Chyna. But what's sad to me is, listen, I give them credit for putting the package together. Kudos to them. I'm glad that they did it. But, when all is said and done, bro, to me, it's just a shame that it came 5 days too late. Joni was looking for peace and closure with the WWE, for the last couple of years of her life, and they never gave that to her. So the fact that she has to get that, or she finally gets that when she's no longer with us, that's just sad to me. I mean, it's just sad. So it's really hard for me to be objective when it comes to this.
Yeah, I was really hoping these two sides could mend fences, and I understand on both ends why they had issues with each other, but I wanted that relationship to be fixed again, because almost anything, you can get over. If she was over, the relationship thing that happened, and they could move past some things that were said and things that, that really shouldn't matter, like career choices for her that were her own choices. I was hopeful that they could make that work, and it is a real shame that it came when she was no longer here. I love the video package. I thought that was very, very nice. I thought I was also surprised that they did that. Glad that they did it, though. Mm-hmm. But you'll have people on both sides of the fence. You'll have some people saying that they're just doing it to kiss up, and you'll have people saying that it was a classy move. Do you have a personal feeling either way towards that?
Listen, it wasn't a classy move. The classy move would have been when the girl puts herself on videotape apologizing to the world, humbling herself, literally at their feet, and basically saying, all I want is closure. I made some mistakes. I'm sorry. She apologized to Triple H at Roddy Piper's funeral when she had the opportunity to, and he said nothing to her. That's class. That's class at that point, when you're like, you know what, forget it. It's you said some things you regretted. We said some things we regretted. Let's just put it behind us. Let's just move forward. That's a class act. I mean, Sean, let's face it. She can't, Chyna couldn't have passed away, and they couldn't have done nothing. I mean, they would have been absolutely slaughtered if they did nothing. So to me, the class act is when somebody humbles themselves to you, it's time for forgiveness. And like I said, like you, Sean, I'm happy that they did it. Kudos to them, but it's just tragic that it came 5 days too late.
Do you think she's ever going to go into the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't.
I would be surprised. Well, I won't say surprised. I would like to think they would do that eventually.
And Sean, it goes back to what you just said. It goes back to a lot of it goes back to career choices. What they don't understand is, while they're flying in their private jets, across the country, China's trying to pay her bills.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, bro, we do what we have to do to survive. So I never, as long as it's not illegal, I don't blame anybody for their life choices and what they have to do to survive. And unless you've been in those shoes, you'll never understand. But what you did in your past and career choices does have a bearing with whether or not you get in the WWE Hall of Fame. And I feel that's unfortunate because what you're doing at that point is you're judging people.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that, whatever she wants to do with her body, her business. I don't care. I feel like it didn't help the theme of some of those videos that had like parodied WWE characters and things like that. But I think that excuse would have been used either way. Even if it didn't have parodies of WWE characters, I think they would have used that as an excuse. If you're looking for an excuse to keep somebody out of the Hall of Fame, there were different things that they could have done. I mean, using that excuse, I think, was a bad one. But and I have a hard time believing that they would have said, well, she doesn't need to be in it because of this reason, if the relationship with Triple H had never occurred. Mm-hmm. So it's a very polarizing situation. It's a very unfortunate situation, but she is absolutely deserving. I said it on the podcast last week, and I guess I didn't realize that Sean Waltman had said it before. Chyna was Ronda Rousey before Ronda Rousey was around. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was women's boxing was not prominent. Mm-hmm. There was really no women's MMA to speak of. There were women Muay Thai fighters and kickboxers, but nowhere near the exposure that Chyna got. And she was on a level playing field with men, beating men at wrestling's hottest period. She really was Ronda Rousey before Ronda Rousey ever happened. So I'm glad that they at least paid tribute to her.
I'm glad too, but also, Sean, like I said, I sit here all the time and I'm like, okay, somebody's got to give me the rules and regulations of, who gets in the WWE and who doesn't. It's the same thing with the 10 bell count. Can somebody explain to me?
I think they do that for people who are current employees. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. For the 10 bell salute.
I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I wish I knew what the rules were to that as well.
Well, guys, we had a Raw tonight. And it was, watching this with a heavy heart. It's been a rough week. I mean, for all of entertainment, we had the passing of Chyna, the passing of Prince, TNA kept showing up on TV. That was pretty bad. So it's been a pretty rough week, Vince.
Bro, you just packaged the passing of Prince with TNA still on TV. I just want you to know that, bro.
Oh, well, you know what? Pretty soon we'll probably be talking about TNA not being with us any longer as well. But on a lighter note, well, I guess a lighter note. Wrestling's supposed to entertain us. They call it entertainment. I don't know about this show, Vince. It was a lot of like last week, inconsequential stuff. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube page. All kinds of great stuff up on there. Actually, 2 weeks ago, we had started uploading clips of our interview with Chyna. We were doing our Flashback Friday feature, and we had decided the first 2 installments were going to be of Chyna, so the timing of that was kind of unusual. But we're going to have all kinds of stuff up there, interviews, things like that. Also, leave a thumbs up on the video. This show brought to you by TrendyButler.com. Use the coupon code Wrestling10, all caps, to save $10 on your order, as well as ddpyoga.com/wrestlinginc. Raj isn't here. Raj ditched us.
Raj is smart, bro. Come on.
Yes. The return of the queendom, as they say. Stephanie McMahon interrupted Shane McMahon at the beginning of this show, said that his time is over and that at Payback this Sunday, Vince McMahon is going to make a decision on who is running the show, which begs the question, Vince, or yeah, why does Vince McMahon have to make a decision on who runs the show? Shane McMahon lost at WrestleMania.
Bro, Sean, what can I tell you, bro? It's like, bro, first of all, I could not look at Stephanie McMahon tonight with any love in my heart. Let me start there, bro. And let me say, listen, people have to understand something. That situation, Sean, like I know the blow by blow. I know what was said. I know how it went down. So it's a little different to me than people that really don't know. So it was hard. It was hard for me to look at Stephanie with any love, but I'm a professional. I got to look at it objectively. But bro, I'll go back to it again. And Sean, it's like I hate coming on this show and repeating myself every week. If that were the case, and that's a big part of the pay-per-view on Sunday, then why didn't we have dueling McMahons tonight? I mean, I hate saying this. I'm a broken record. Why do they tell the story in the opening segment and then it goes away? If this is such a big decision and this is going to dictate the future of the company, that should have had some kind of presence on tonight's show. And that's why I get tired of repeating myself. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, there was no recurring anything in this program. It was segment. Well, I guess the Bullet Club thing kind of was the Karl Anderson, Doc Gallows, but that was one thing. You can weave more than one thing in and out of this show.
Sean, you know what tonight was? It's real simple. And anybody, Sean, let me tell you something. You know what drives me crazy? When I try to go on Twitter during these shows and I try to talk to the fans. And bro, because with the WWE universe and the WWE fans, because I don't sit there and put over what a great show this is. Here comes the hate.
Vince. Yeah. Vince, I see it all the time. You haven't been in the ring in the WWE. You don't know what you're talking about. But if you say something, it's Vince is bitter.
Yeah, Vince is bitter. Let me tell you what tonight's show was, Sean. And I invite anybody to go back and look at the show because this is what I call phoning it in. And when you phone in a show, it's a waste of my 3 hours. Here's what's phoning it in, bro. The guys going into the pay-per-view, give them a predictable win over somebody. That was the entire show, bro. Yep. Sheamus is not going to beat AJ Styles. Del Rio is not going to beat Roman Reigns. This was the entire show. Whoever is going into the pay-per-view, give them a good win going into the pay-per-view. That's your 3-hour show. And people want to sit there and carry on about how great this show is. Vince is bitter. Vince is this. Vince is that. Bro, if you're a wrestling fan and you didn't see that formula starting from the first match, then you're an idiot. You're deaf, dumb, and blind, like the kid who plays pinball in Tommy. That's you. Because that's all this show was for 3 hours. That's what the show was. And I'll say it again, just like I said last week. I'll make it real simple, Sean. Look at the ratings tomorrow. Wait till the ratings. Because last week, the beloved Dean Ambrose and the beloved Kevin Owens were in the very last segment. Oh, the third hour did under 3 million people last week? Are you kidding me with Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose? Seriously? Wait till tomorrow. Wait till the rating comes out tomorrow. And people are going to sit there and argue with me. Bro, when the freaking Giants stink up the joint, I'm the first one to say they stunk up the joint. Sorry, Sean. I got a little carried away there, bro.
You okay?
I mean, Sean, is Sheamus going to beat AJ? He
better not.
Is Reigns going to lose to Del Rio? I mean, come on, bro.
I mean, it was evident from hours ahead when they announced these matches. It's like, it's going to be one of these shows. Also, I did not miss Stephanie McMahon's heel authority promos over the past month. But yeah, Styles, Sheamus, I'll give them this. They beat the hell out of each other, but there was no threat of Sheamus winning this match. It wasn't going to happen.
You know, Sean, I was just watching today. We had for our show tomorrow, we had to watch Fully Loaded 1998.
Yeah.
In Fully Loaded 1998, Rock versus Triple H, 2 out of 3 falls for the Intercontinental title. Okay. Bro, do you know the week before, the last Raw, X-Pac beat The Rock?
Really?
Yes, the last Raw before that pay-per-view. And when you look at that and you look at where we are now, you're freaking phoning it in, and I don't respect that as a wrestling fan.
And you know what the shame is? And we'll kind of talk, because there's not a lot to talk about in a lot of these matches. If Rusev beat Sami Zayn with Rusev coming back with Lana, something we've said that needed to happen, would that be the end of the world? I love Sami Zayn. I love his underdog character. But would Kevin Owens costing Sami Zayn a match be the worst thing in the world against a guy like Rusev who needs it so bad?
Yeah. Well, also, see that's the problem, bro. You had 3 guys there: Rusev, Sheamus, and Del Rio. And thanks to the WWE, none of the 3 are a threat, bro.
They don't matter.
Yeah, they don't matter. So it's not like, holy crap, Sami Zayn is going to drive his cab right into the building and wrestle Rusev. Nobody's saying that, bro, because he's not a threat. Rusev used to be a threat. He used to be a big threat, bro. Not now.
And I was hoping that when they brought Lana back with him, that would flip the switch. Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
So why bring Lana out in the first place?
Exactly. Why not wait just a couple weeks, split the League of Nerds, let Lana give Rusev his edge back, and then do whatever the hell you want with Sheamus. Don't care. Alberto Del Rio can be doing something, I'm sure. I don't know what.
And, bro, here's the funny thing. Because AJ needs a win over Sheamus, and because Reigns needs a win over Del Rio, none of the other members of the League of Nations are out there. Yeah. Bro, like, how funny is that? Like, that is hysterical to me, bro. And there's not even a backstory like they've been bought from ringside. Nothing, because AJ needs a win and Reigns needs a win. We're not going to send those guys out there. That's comical, bro.
I think the League of Nations, each individually, probably needs some kind of makeover. And I know where they can get it, Vince. It's at trendybutler.com.
Yeah. But, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, before you get into this very weak segue, I'm going to tell you right now.
Come on.
If you and I'm going to say this to the good people at Trendy Butler. Listen, if the good people at Trendy Butler are listening to this, and listen, from what I understand, because I think this is on Austin's podcast as well. This is a very good company. Everybody putting it over. But I just want the people at Trendy Butler to know, if Sean Ross Sapp really wanted to get your product over, he would wear the hat on TV. I want you to know. Trendy Butler, it's called going the extra step. Go ahead, Sean. It's all yours.
It is 82 degrees in here. I even turned my air conditioner off so I don't have ambient noise on our show. But at trendybutler.com, you guys, you can get a fantastic deal. You get $150 worth of designer clothes. I got personally over $200 in each $65 box. You go and create a custom style profile based on your preferences, what colors you like, what styles you like, what patterns you like, what kind of clothes you do and don't wear, all of those things. And a stylist will custom pick your clothes and send them to you every single month. It is a fantastic deal. I showed and listed all the things they sent me, I believe, last week. Unbelievable deal. And if you use the code WRESTLING10, all caps, you can save $10. Visit them at trendybutler.com. Use that code WRESTLING10, all caps, my friends. And, of course, tweet them. Let them know that Wrestling Inc. sent you. Let them know that Wrestling Inc. and the Wrestling Inc. podcast made you aware of Trendy Butler. But
Sean Ross Sapp, you know how you turned me on to The Making of a Murderer, Making a Murderer?
Yeah, incredible series.
You turned me on to, and I give you credit for it, and I turned a lot of other people onto it. You know, this past weekend there was I think they called it a watch-a-thon or something, where you got like all the pay services for free.
Wow, I didn't. realize that.
I'm good. Yeah. So, bro, I got to watch an HBO show because I'm too cheap to pay for it. I'm going to recommend something to you. But, Sean, you're on top of TV, bro. You know TV. I'm going to think you've seen this show.
What is it?
Bro, have you seen this Vinyl show on HBO?
I haven't.
Bro, please. I took you up on your recommendation. Take me up on mine.
I'm going to write that down.
Bro, I sat there and I watched the 10 one-hour episodes literally in a day. Unbelievable show. And then that's the funny thing, bro. I watched 10 hours of that, and then I watched 3 hours of this, and I'm looking for the for the hang noose. Watch it, bro. Watch it. You'll appreciate it.
Oh, when Breaking Bad was on the air, well, I got to say, when Breaking Bad was on the air, Raw wasn't that bad because the Shield was running rampant and there were a lot of more interesting things on there. But I was just like dreading Monday Night Raw when I knew that Breaking Bad was on at the same time.
Yeah.
It was hell.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I won't say one. They did a couple things that I liked on this show. The Zayn Owens video, we've been begging for it.
Exactly.
Begging for it for months.
Right.
We finally got it. I will say better late than never, but
I agree. I agree with that.
A while back.
Yeah. No, I agree, bro. Better late than never. They did a good job with it. I definitely agree.
I loved Kevin Owens, speaking not out of character, just as a normal human being about his relationship with Sami Zayn. We need more of that. Not everything has to be for that live crowd. There is a television audience of millions watching. So
right.
We also, I got to say this also. I don't know how in the hell New Day got that corny Bootios phrase over, but more power to them. They did it. They got it over. And I also want to say the Vaudevillains who interrupted them as they were talking about the tag team tournament, I was very worried when they were brought up to the main roster because they had nothing besides that gimmick on NXT. They were never really given mic time. I've seen them on the mic twice so far in WWE on the main roster. Both times I thought they did well. I liked the we're going to party like it's $18.99 line. I liked that. That was kind of cool. What have been your initial impressions of the Vaudevillains on the main roster?
Well, bro, I like those guys. I told you, I liked them at NXT. I like the entrance. I like the gimmick. I like all that stuff. Bro, I think the dialogue could be a lot more creative. It could really be more suitable for the gimmick. And I wish the writers would get on that because it would really craft their characters and really get them over a little bit more. Because like I said, bro, I love the entrance. I love the look. I love the way they stay in gimmick during their matches. But I think the verbiage and the dialogue needs to be worked on a little bit.
You know who should be a consultant for that role?
Who's that?
Dan Severn. I interviewed him and he spoke like he was from the 1930s.
Tremendous. Yeah, there you go. There you go, bro.
He used the term fisticuffs in a sentence, and I was like, yep.
There you go.
I like it. Also, Enzo and Cass, they would be over. They would get a crowd reaction on the moon, Vince.
Yeah, bro. Bro, you know what it reminds me of when these guys come out? I'll tell you, it reminds me of when Daniel Bryan used to come out. When Daniel Bryan used to come out, there was immediately a different energy in the building. Immediately. These guys remind me of that same thing, bro. When they come out, there's energy in the building, and that's tremendous.
Biggest pop of the night, almost like every show now.
Right.
Man, two guys that, were never really looked at, definitely never groomed to be the guys, and they are massive stars.
Massive
stars.
Character, bro.
It's great. My fiance watches the show downstairs while she does homework, things like that. Catches up on our wedding stuff. And like I'll hear her cheering for Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Tremendous. Yep.
It's great. I thought this was a very good segment in putting over the tag team tournament finals. It made it feel a little bit more important. Good segment, I thought. Good stuff.
I agree.
3 good acts. A lot better than the Gallows and Karl Anderson versus Usos match. And I love Karl Anderson. Very nice guy. Buddy of mine, but man, this should have been a squash for them. Why are the Usos? I mean, this is their first match. The Gallows and Anderson, rather.
Bro, I got to tell you something. Here's the disconnect, Sean. This is the disconnect with Zayn and these guys and all that. The internet wrestling community, you know, because of New Japan and these guys are great workers, yada, 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 yada. They're looking at these guys a certain way. Okay, bro? The fact of the matter is Vince McMahon is not looking at them that same way.
But he has them in a main event segment right now.
But he's still not looking at those guys the same way, bro. That's the difference, bro. He's not. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to go back to I'm watching Fully Loaded 1998 today. Bro, the freaking Harris twins make these two guys look like the Backstreet Boys. They're so over by the beloved internet, bro. They're half the size of Ron and Don Harris. And bro, you got to understand, this is Vince's background. Vince's background are the Harris boys. Vince's background are the Legion of Doom, Demolition, the Powers of Pain, bro.
Gallows is a pretty big guy. He's like,
yeah, but the other one literally I think he was shorter than AJ, and AJ's not 6 foot tall, bro. And I'm telling you, Vince is not looking at these guys by their work rate.
Oh, I was meaning to establish the guys because they've never had. Well, Gallows has, but this is their first match.
No, it should have been a squash match, bro. But what I'm saying is he's not looking at them that way. He's not.
I'm very interested to see where this goes. There's a lot of speculation about who they're going to side with, and you know they keep helping out AJ Styles. It's very unpredictable right now. A lot of people think. Reigns.
If you look at Vince's track record, bro, I don't think it's that unpredictable. What has Vince been wanting to do, been shoving down our throats for the last 2-3 years?
Roman Reigns.
Exactly. Roman Reigns is a babyface. Well, if Roman Reigns is a babyface, then AJ is in on it with these guys.
Yeah. If that's the case,
yeah,
I think they underestimate how over AJ Styles.
We're going to turn AJ Styles heel because in Vince's mind, that's going to make Roman Reigns babyface.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. Oh, man. I don't know how that would work out. You know, there are rumors maybe Finn Balor. He lost the NXT title. What did you think about that title change? Samoa Joe winning the NXT championship last week.
Well, I mean, they did it because they're bringing Balor up, right, bro? I don't think he would lose it and stay there. You know,
most people don't. Usually, they have plans if somebody loses that title. You know, so you're assuming that they side with AJ Styles, right?
Yes.
Do you think that has anything to do with them wanting to get in on ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. used by AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, John Cena?
Can I tell you something? It really is sad when your segues are the highlight of the 3-hour Raw preview, bro. I just want you to know that. Go ahead.
The segues are getting to be a selling point for advertising.
I agree.
Say that. Also, I shouldn't mention this on air about who I send sponsorship inquiries to, but I think you'll like this one, Vince. They didn't get back to me, but a place called brobox.com.
I think I might have heard of that, bro. What is that? Tell me what that is real quick.
I'm not going to talk about them because they're not paying us.
Yeah, there you go. Good point. Business.
But I said, if you don't sponsor us or Vince Russo, you are missing out on nonstop branding throughout a show.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely, bro.
Talk about brand awareness.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows, if they side with AJ Styles, they're wanting in on that ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. that AJ Styles used to get his back ready for ROH Final Battle and Wrestle Kingdom, and then his Royal Rumble return. ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. You can get an awesome deal on the Max Pack. Also, guys, if you are in Australia, you've probably seen or heard DDP Yoga's around. He screened the resurrection of Jake the Snake, now available on Vudu, Amazon, PlayStation Network, Google Play, all the video on demand services. Also, he's running a DDP Yoga workshop on May 1st. You can go to ticketblaster.com.au, get your tickets, take part in the DDP Yoga workshop. Also, of course, tweet him. Tell him how it's helped you out. Tell him that Wrestling Inc. sent you. Yeah, I think that needs to be the reveal, Vince. They side with AJ Styles. Monday they come out and Gallows says, you know what? I'm a big man. I'm 6'7". It's not easy to move around after all this travel. I had to get the inside track on that ddpyoga.com/wrestling.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
Writes itself.
Anyway, it does. It does. Apollo Crews versus Stardust. Now, I want to talk about the promo before. Did you see that promo?
The one I heard it, bro. Bro, I got to tell you, I was at my computer for this show, and I turned around.
On, right?
Yeah, no, just working, and I turned around very few times, so I didn't see the promo, but I heard the promo.
So Apollo Crews is cutting his usual gee golly gosh darn babyface promo, and Stardust comes up. And Apollo Crews talks about how it's an honor to be in the ring with him and how much Dusty Rhodes helped him. And I was really hoping for something along the lines of, how dare you even talk about my father? Anything like that. We got the usual Stardust in character thing. How much longer can they go with this? I mean, well, obviously, if they don't have any plans for him, they can go with it forever. But I thought that was a real opportunity. Just a little thing. Make it something.
Yeah, I mean,
make it something.
Again, bro, we can go on and on and on and on about the guys on this roster that mean nothing. Why not do something to make it mean something? I'm with you, bro. I agree 100%.
Apollo Crews, amazingly athletic, beat Stardust. Is normal. Also, Chris Jericho apparently can afford $750 boots because he gets such a great deal on ddpyoga.com/wrestling inc. He came out and interrupted Dean Ambrose, who was cutting a fiery promo. They got into it. Jericho called him a stupid idiot several times. Put him in the walls of Jericho on the table. Vince, does it hurt more to put somebody in the walls of Jericho on the table as opposed to anywhere else?
I would think so, bro. I mean, wouldn't you, bro? The elevation's a little higher than the ring, probably. You know, the blood rushes to the head quicker.
The breathing is going to be a
bro.
Extra,
I gotta tell you, bro. If they if they don't put Ambrose over Jericho at the pay-per-view, I just don't know how you beat this guy up anymore and not have him win.
If they don't, I have a feeling it's like by design, where they're trying to get him the Daniel Bryan thing, where they're like, he's getting screwed, because that's the only explanation I could think of.
I mean, bro, the guy just gets beat up every week. It's like, if they don't give him a win, I don't even know what to tell you.
Indeed. Are you going to watch Camp WWE?
No, bro, but I found out today. Hey, I'm going to give you a scoop here, bro.
Do tell.
I'm going to give you a scoop here. What's his last name? Aaron. I can't think of his last name. Bro, do you know the guy who was like the vice president of marketing at WCW when I was there, bro, from like 99 to 2000 or whatever? Aaron, I can't think of his last name, bro. I'll think of it in a minute. He's the showrunner of that show.
Really?
He created that show, bro. Yeah, I'll get you his name next time, but he's the show. Bro, the guy was also the showrunner for Family Guy, and I heard this is very, very, very adult-orientated humor.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a fan of like South Park.
Yeah,
and
that's what this is supposed to be.
And I saw a clip.
Blitzstein, bro. Aaron, Aaron Blitzstein. That's his name, bro. He used to work at WCW. Now he's running this show.
I saw like a behind-the-scenes clip, and I got to say, Vince McMahon, top-notch voice actor.
Yeah.
Like,
I would think so.
Just a natural.
I would think so, definitely.
Emma versus Natalya. Charlotte was at ringside. Glad to see Emma.
Yeah, good win for Natalya going into the pay-per-view. I forgot this one, bro. That's exactly what it was.
And here's the shame. They brought Emma back. She's looked fantastic over the last year. She's been in this thing with Becky, which was ignored tonight, of course. Why not? And after she spent a year away, she's back and she's tapping out in 3.5 minutes again. Yeah. Don't know what the point was. There was somebody else for that spot, I'm sure, besides a girl that they have in an active program. Well, maybe not active. I'm sure Charlotte and Natalya will have a good match. There's that. Bret Hart said today, though, that he has no interest in going to WWE Payback, even though he's going to WWE Payback. Can you blame him?
Did he really say that, bro?
He said that.
Sean, I got to tell you something, man. And
he doesn't care.
Listen, I got to tell you something, bro. And I forgot all about this. Bro, how old were you in 1998?
1998. I was 12 and I turned 13.
Oh, my. I bet you never saw this before. And I had not seen it since 1998. Bro, I went back to the pay-per-view today, fully loaded. Bro, do you remember Shamrock and Owen Hart having a match in the dungeon?
I posted that in a group I was in because a teammate and myself, we're going to try to emulate like a match like that style.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, of course.
Bro, was that not? Bro, they killed each other.
Yeah.
They killed each other.
They destroyed each other. And they had like no ropes to use, anything like that. You have to get creative.
Bro, I watched that today and I'm like, holy I mean, that was phenomenal, bro. I forgot that. That was tremendous. Bro, listen, I'm plugging the WWE Network. I encourage everybody to watch that. Fully loaded 1998. You want to see two guys really freaking work in a limited space where they couldn't do crazy things. Unbelievable, bro.
You have to have an amazing amount of wrestling aptitude to pull off a match like that. No ropes, no turnbuckles. I'd rather have turnbuckles than ropes if I were working in the ring because there's a lot of things you can do off of that. But, man, like, that was impressive. I really liked that.
Unbelievable.
Vince, what if WWE actually fired Primo and Epico Cologne like a year ago and they're just working for some tourism company for Puerto Rico?
I like that, bro. That's a good angle. I like that.
Well, they're not gay, as you speculated. They did have women with them in this vignette.
Bro, but you ever heard Sean, listen, I know you're a young kid. You know what a beard is? You know what a beard is, bro? Have you ever heard the term a beard? A beard is like if two guys are gay, they surround themselves with beautiful women so nobody thinks they're gay. The women are the beard, bro. They wear the beard. Hello?
I'll let you keep running with this, Vince. Yeah, tag team division heating up a little bit in WWE. Needs to. They need something. Miz, Maurice, they come out. Cesaro interrupts, of course, talks about the Intercontinental title. So the funniest thing about this segment, Vince, Miz says that he's going to speak very slowly so Cesaro's foreign brain can understand him. Isn't Maurice foreign?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. Good, very good point, Sean. Very good. Point. Yeah, he just buried his wife.
He did bury his wife.
Yeah.
Cesaro does the swing on Miz. Maurice jumps on him and saves him. So fun times for all. Damian Sandow was on the show. Technically, he did not lose a match, Vince, because Baron Corbin was supposed to face him and was attacked by Dolph Ziggler. This Ziggler Baron Corbin doing anything for you?
Well, I mean, I'm glad they're consistent with his character. I mean, I'm glad that he's been on every week because that's what you need when you introduce a character. And the same with Apollo. Who is it? Apollo Creed?
Apollo Crews,
bro. Yeah, the same with those guys. The fact that they're putting them on every week and exposing them, that's a good thing.
Vince, we've reached an end of an era. There was no Golden Truth segment tonight.
Yeah, there wasn't, bro. How about that? You think it's dead?
No, we couldn't get that lucky.
Yeah.
We couldn't get that lucky. Reigns, Del Rio, you know what happens. Anderson and Gallows distract Reigns. Reigns spears and beats Del Rio anyway. AJ Styles runs down. Earlier in the night, by the way, Reigns, a lot of people said, oh, Reigns beat up Anderson and Gallows. Well, they had just worked a 12-minute match. They attack Reigns tonight after his match with Del Rio. Styles pulls them off. Reigns spears him. Then they recover. Anderson and Gallows recover. And Styles hits the phenomenal forearm on Reigns as we go to the pay-per-view. I want you to put a percentage on it. Percentage that AJ Styles leaves Payback your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Vince.
0%.
Yeah, even like what if Roman Reigns gets knocked out in the match and can't continue?
The Earl Hebner will roll him on top of AJ.
Earl's working for TNA, but what would you rate this Raw, Vince?
I gave it a goose egg last week, right, bro?
Yeah.
See, I if I give it a goose egg again, then I'm being negative, so I can't give it a goose egg. And bro, but I think I said some positive things about the show, bro. Like,
there's always a couple things, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a couple things I put. I'll give it a 1, bro. I'll give it a 1.
A 1. Yeah, I can't blame you. This was a waste of 3 hours. This Raw could have happened in 1 hour.
Yeah, here's the question you got to ask yourself at the end of every Raw show. And this is what I tell everybody: if you got a brain in your head, not if you're a WWE mark and everything they do is great. If you got a brain in your head, this is what you got to ask yourself at the end of every show. If I did not watch this 3-hour Raw, what would I have missed? What would you have missed?
Not a thing.
Nothing changed going into the pay-per-view this weekend. Nothing. You would have missed nothing. That's what you got to ask yourself. That's how you know a good show from a bad show.
Indeed. Well, we'll answer a few questions here. Our friend Michael Farrow on the board, going to copy those over for us. He records those for us so we can have easy access to answer them if this page would load. Well, somebody asked me, have you watched anything of Conor McGregor, Vince?
No, you said you were sending me some. You didn't send me nothing, bro.
I'll send you something. Sorry.
I'll watch it, man. But I'm reading about this on again, off again fight, and what's his saying that McGregor's saying it's on, and Dana White's saying he's full of crap, right?
He's the troll. He knows how to leverage. Well, here's some of the questions. Somebody says, will the Chyna situation move the WWE to mend fences with Kurt Angle before it's too late?
I hope
what do you think?
Oh, bro, if that comes out of it, that will be tremendous. That will.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
Yes, if that comes out of it, that will be great.
Somebody asks Vince, who will Cena bury upon his return?
God, he's coming back. They said Memorial Day, right,
Memorial Day, yeah. I'm glad they're hyping it.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I mean, who did they have over that matters?
Nobody. No heels. No heels.
Yeah, I mean, who's over? What, Corbin maybe?
Oh, man. Do you guys think that they are going to turn Reigns heel now? Even the dead crowd booed him.
Nope.
Let's see here. Do you think Finn Balor will fit into the Reigns, Styles, Gallows, and Anderson feud?
I definitely think he can. No question about it. He definitely can. They could set that up beautifully for him.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, and it'd be a good way to get somebody in a top spot in a hurry because he's capable of it.
Yeah.
This is a mistake even asking this question.
Go ahead, bro.
What is Sami Zayn's gimmick, Vince?
Well, I came up with his catchphrase tonight. Did you see that on Twitter, Sean? While I was entertaining the people out of their misery and boredom.
What was it, Vince?
That'll be $5.95, ma'am. Bro, that's money. Put that on a T-shirt. That'll be $5.95, man, with like a New York accent.
Uber costs more than that now. Like everybody's doing the Uber thing now. Do you feel the WWE creative team has completely lost it?
They never had it. How could you lose something you didn't have? They never had it, bro.
Oh, gosh. Any possibility in bringing in any other former wrestlers as special guests on the podcast? It's a possibility. A lot of times we save those for interviews for the site and things like that because we usually have a lot to talk about. Well, technically, we have a lot to talk about, Vince.
Right.
But not really. Somebody says, what does Russo think about a win-loss system in the WWE to spice up the product and make matches mean more and port big sports stories into the WWE?
Bro, you know who was a big advocate of the win-loss thing? Bischoff was a big advocate of that, bro. But here's what people don't understand. This is the hard part. You got to keep that going with house shows.
Yeah.
And then, bro, then you got to start keeping track of who's winning and who's losing, and then that starts dictating who's winning and who's losing. It doesn't work, bro. It's an okay idea in theory, but when you think about all the house shows, it's a nightmare.
Somebody says, does Roman Reigns keep the title after SummerSlam based on these reactions? I don't know. I think he'll probably keep it till SummerSlam. Seth Rollins is coming back soon.
Yeah. Vince is a very stubborn man, bro. He's a very stubborn man.
Vince, tell them about the brand before I let you go and talk a little UFC with the people.
All right, I'm going to be real quick, Sean. I'm not going to, so I can get it over with. Okay, the brand. It all starts at russosbrand.com. That's my website. I'm on Podcast One free every day, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, bro, you ever watch Baskets?
I don't. What is that?
Oh, bro, that's another the Zach Galifianakis show on FX.
Oh, yeah.
You watch that?
I have seen it. Yes,
bro. You know his wife that he married to get the green card, Penelope.
Yeah,
I had her on the show, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I begged her, got her on the show, bro. Big star, big Hollywood star. She's on tomorrow, the Vixen show, but you can catch me every week on Podcast One. You could see those shows on video a day earlier by going to russosbrand.com for $2.95 a month, 75 cents a week.
I highly encourage you all to check that out. Also, you get Vince here on Wrestling Inc. again a day early. We're back for Payback this Sunday.
Next Sunday.
And it seems like WWE's been paying us back for whatever we did to them.
Yeah, we did something wrong, bro.
Maybe this is all on you, Vince. Maybe this is a vendetta against you, Vince. And they are torturing you.
No,
we all have to suffer because of it.
You know what this is, bro? This is failure to wear the trendy Butler hat, bro.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
You know what? If this were winter, I'd wear like 3 of them. It's funny. I can't sacrifice my hat, but our host on the Wednesday, Thursday shows, Rob McCarran, has said on his own show that if CM Punk ever fights in the UFC, he will eat a hat.
Eat a hat?
Eat a hat.
Is that possible?
I don't know, but he better hope that CM Punk doesn't fight because it's developed into a big thing. Wow. But I know one thing. He's not eating my cashmere hat from trendybutler.com.
Bro, what about Trendy Butler? They got to have some trendy baseball caps, no? Throw one of those in the box. Tell them to throw one of those in the box.
I'm sure they do. They have a great amount of stuff. Vince, my friend, thank you for joining me and talking about sore subjects and Raw, which is also a sore subject sometimes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean. Have a great rest of your show, man.
Take care.
Take care, bud.
So, guys, UFC 197 was this Saturday. We had a lot of people asking if we were going to do a podcast after the show. Unfortunately, there weren't very many big happenings on the show. If John Jones would have lost, we probably would have done like a breaking show. I'll start off. Carla Esparza won over Juliana Lima. Good to see her back on the horse. She hasn't fought since losing the title to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So she's back. Moving on to the main card, Yair Rodriguez is the truth, you guys. I don't know if you all saw that knockout over Andre Fili. If you're knocking out Andre Fili, you're doing something fun or crazy because he's nonstop balls to the wall action. But Yair Rodriguez employed basically an old school karate tactic, and it's like it really makes you wonder where karate would be as a base style if so many of the people that taught it weren't full of crap and they taught the things that are really practical. Then you would have more guys like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson coming up, Lyoto Machida coming up, people like that use that as a base. Anthony Showtime Pettis dropped 3 in a row. Lost to Edson Barboza. I felt like Barboza was a terrible matchup for him. But to be honest, there are a lot of really bad matchups for Anthony Showtime Pettis in that division. His strengths are creativity, and most people in that division are getting creative as well. The things that he does, he's not catching people off guard. He's telegraphing them, and he's really paying. Edson Barboza put the pain on Anthony Pettis with that left hook, and nobody throws harder kicks in that division than Barboza. So that was a big win for Barboza, and I feel like he has the ability to beat anybody in that division. Well, at least in the top 15, he has the ability to beat anybody, but also anybody in that division has the ability to beat him. And I think the same goes for Pettis, despite the high level that he reached in that division. He's out of the lightweight title picture for a long time. He might have to drop to 145, something like that. Also, we're talking about Bellator. Friday night, Ben Henderson debuted at 170 and got molly-whopped by Andrei Koreshkov. Koreshkov's only loss came to Ben Askren 3 years ago when he was 22, and Ben Askren has no interest in fighting anybody good anymore. He's re-signed with ONE FC. But yeah, Ben Henderson got worked by Koreshkov. He needs to be at 155. That's his place. The fight with Will Brooks would have been a big one, but unfortunately, he just didn't want to cut weight, and that's understandable. But back to UFC 197, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is the absolute truth. And I get so sick of people saying that 125s won't draw. I don't give a damn. I don't care if 125s don't draw. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is incredible to watch, even in his boring fights, because very few people do what he does at the level that he does. He's top 5 all time, in my opinion, now. And it's so funny that some people are saying, like, dissolve the 125 division. They don't need it. Don't punish a guy for being that good. He's just that good. If he weren't there, that title would have been passed around 3 or 4 times, but he's defended it 8 times. It is unbelievable the level of badass in which he was the other night. He was facing an Olympic gold medalist in Henry Cejudo in wrestling. And one of the first things that Mighty Mouse did was walk over and give Cejudo the clinch. He gave an Olympic wrestler a clinch and then got out of it, then got back in it. Cejudo took him down, and within about, I'd say 4 or 5 seconds, Johnson put his butterflies in, kicked him off, and then kneed him repeatedly until Cejudo couldn't continue. In the body, in the head, he just repeatedly kneed Cejudo. It's just the balls on that guy. A clinch, an Olympic gold medalist. Now, I'm telling you guys, go up to a high school wrestler and just say, hey, put me in a clinch and I'll try to stop you from taking me down. Chances are you won't be able to stop him. And there's a wrestler at the highest level, the absolute highest level. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is a joy. I wish more people would embrace that, but there's the stigma of the size and all that stuff. He is an incredibly entertaining personality as well. If you ever hear him on interviews like with Joe Rogan and things like that. So yeah, if you didn't check out that fight, that was probably one of the most impressive things I've seen this year was Mighty Mouse just dismantling Cejudo. And there's not a lot left for him in that division, but he is going to stay in it until he breaks Anderson Silva's record. You got to remember, there's a 7-inch height difference between him and the 135 champion, who he has fought before. And when he fought Dominic Cruz, he wasn't even training full-time. He was working a full-time job when he fought for a title at 135. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with for Mighty Mouse. Now, John Jones, he did not look as good as I've ever seen him. I thought he even looked better in the Gustafsson fight, even though he almost got beat. He was incredibly flat-footed in this fight. He had a lot of ring rust. OSP caught him a few times, and you got to wonder, if it were Cormier or Johnson that caught him with those punches, would he have been standing, especially Rumble Johnson? That's questionable. Now, Jones still dominated the fight. It was like a 50-44 and 50-45 victory. But he was very lucky that it was OSP he was facing instead of Cormier. Now, hats off to OSP for on 3 weeks' notice going 5 rounds with the pound-for-pound greatest fighter maybe ever, and doing so with a broken arm through a good portion of the fight. Much respect for that. Like that can't really be undersold, the way that works. I can't imagine riding in a car with a broken arm without it being tended to. But yeah, like the Jones thing, he needed this tune-up fight. Tune-up fights are incredibly underutilized in MMA. We saw Khabib Nurmagomedov get one against Daryl Horcher. Wasn't planned. He was supposed to fight Tony Ferguson, but it's a good thing. When you're out of the cage for a year and a half, 2 years in some cases, you need those. Dominic Cruz against Mizugaki. Mizugaki highly ranked, but we kind of knew what was going to happen. I think tune-up fights should absolutely be a thing in MMA. Now, in my opinion, I think this makes the Cormier-Jones rematch more exciting. I did not give a damn about a rematch when I first heard about it because Jones handled Cormier with ease the first time. This time, you got to wonder. He looked better physically. He looked like a monster physically, Jones did. But when it comes to the actual in-cage things, there were a lot of situations in which I could have seen Daniel Cormier capitalizing. Do I think Cormier will beat him? I don't think he'll beat him, but I think he stands a much better chance than he did 16 months ago. Also, Daniel Cormier on commentary. Don't know if you guys heard that. He was unbelievable. I know that Joe Rogan's contract, at least at one point, was set to be up in August. I don't know if they were grooming him for that. Brian Stan is good. Kenny Florian are good. Daniel Cormier is better. He's fit for that role. I would love to see them bring him in as a permanent third guy. He's 37 years old, and he really added something to that dynamic that they haven't had, a sense of excitement. Because, I've been a part of commentary teams. Sometimes when you add a third person, it makes it better. Sometimes when you add a third person, it completely disrupts the flow. Daniel Cormier did not disrupt the flow. He enhanced things. So great stuff there. Guys, of course, join us on Wednesday night at 10, Thursday night at 10 for the Wrestling Inc. podcast. A lot of you ask why we don't cover Lucha Underground, NXT, TNA, ROH on these shows. It's because we do it on Wednesday nights. We have our non-Monday Night Raw show on Wednesday at 10. And then on Thursday at 10, we kind of catch you up on all the news that happens after Raw, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday's a big news night. So please join us at 10 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, after Payback. Also, guys, ROH Global Wars in 2 weeks on a Sunday night. Join us for that live viewing party. Guys, ddpyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. trendybutler.com. Coupon code Wrestling10. Also, somebody asked me, do I think Conor McGregor is going to be on UFC 200? I think it's about 49%. I'll give it a 49% yes, because I don't think it's going to happen. Guys, thank you so much. Love you guys very much. I always appreciate the support. Remember, subscribe, thumbs up the video, share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. Say this is the greatest wrestling podcast in the world, even if you don't think so. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you again Wednesday.